Good evening. The Wine Awards are co-chaired by Jeannie and Steven Spirer, a world-renowned wine expert and chairman of the Wine Awards. The Wine Awards was launched in 2012, with over 90% of the judges based in Asia. For a total of 4 days, judges will be here tasting thousands and thousands of wines to choose the best wines from the Asian wine producers.
The idea and point of judging all these wines blind is to bring together over 40 judges, mostly from Asia, to judge these wines blinds in groups. So by country, by region, and by style. The real point and objective of these large competitions is to find for consumers what are the wines worth your money. So if a wine has a gold medal, you know that it's one of the top less than 5% of the wines that are actually been submitted for a competition like this. And it has a credibility, especially from a publication and from the group of judges that they've been able to manage to bring together from around the world, including many masters of wine.
Competitions are important because we're the connection between the producers and the consumers. And if you have expert judges and the competition is held in a really controlled way, you get very good results. So our sole role is to recognize and award quality in wine. And so if Decanter gives a wine a gold, silver, bronze, or even a commended medal, that's what it's worth.
We have today approximately 45 judges testing through 2,500 wines. So you can see from the testing room, we have tables of a team of 3 judges, and they're going through flights of wine. So each team will test approximately 80 wines a day. So this is the storage room. We keep all the wines for the judging week. We have approximately 800 wines per day, and everything is organized by day and by category as well. All the wines are stored at a temperature of approximately 15 degrees, which is the ideal condition for storage. And we have approximately 65% of red and 35% of white. The wines we store here are a wide range of prices, and they start probably at 100 Hong Kong dollars, but they go up to maybe 1,000 or even more.
And now it's time to join Jeannie and her friends. This time we have a special treat. We take you to Bordeaux to meet a group of ladies from different chateaux enjoying the local French cuisine.
Ladies, thank you so much for joining me today. I know I come to Bordeaux pretty often, but it's very unusual to have 7 of us, ladies only, no men invited, to have a wonderful lunch. I just did a quick calculation. Almost 100 years of winemaking experience around this table. If we count up all the years, which is not bad, not bad. So let's enjoy our first meal with our 2 vintages of Clémence. Cheers, everyone. Cheers, cheers, cheers.
So what vintage do we have right there?
We have 2001 and 2000.
On the left. And the darker one is 2000.
Yes.
Now this is also kind of new, which is having Sauterne or Barsac in the very beginning of the meal.
Actually,
that's something you're promoting?
it's not really new in France because that was made in the nice meals. People used to serve Sauterne with poultry or with fine fishes or with seafood. These are wines which can go with many different kind of food, and especially I would say with Asian food, because these wines go very well with the spices and herbs that you use.
For me, the sweet wines of Bordeaux, as they age, they taste drier and drier. So
Yes.
in fact, they become more and more compatible.
More and more melted, and of course here you're in Barsac, and Barsac wines have even more freshness.
More acidity.
So it's also great with food.
Now we're moving on to the main dish, which is
a
the tourte de canal
and foie gras. It would be like a pitivier, which is a very old and famous French dish. And we thought that it would be a good combination with some red wines.
So we have the 2001 on the left and the 2000
on the right. Exactly. So Félon Ségur. I think that 2001 is just a bright wine. You know, it has this shiny character. And 2000 is still very, it has a lot of depth, but I think it has a full potential in front of it.
Okay, now we have a little bit of time for some stories about being a woman in the wine industry. So we have here, I've been in the wine industry for almost 20 years myself as a writer. And so if I add all of the number of years, we're over 100 years in the wine industry. So share with us some stories, interesting challenges that you faced that's unique to being a woman.
I realize that at Obey we now have 50% women and men in every field, in the vineyard, in the cellar, in the offices. And in fact, it's because I'm probably completely convinced that we are getting on very well with each other, the men having a global vision and women having more precise vision of the world. So I think I love to work with men because they are very efficient, you give them a target, they reach it, and they go this direction. A woman will go that way, and you probably reach it in a different way, being more focused on some details. And so it's the yin and the yang. That's it.
You need both. You need both.
Being a woman is wonderful because men suddenly realize, they need women. They need women for two reasons. In politics, because then you have to have both half women, half men, and then and we are here to prove that we can do things. And the other thing is, a man would be very happy to talk with a woman because it's a new way of thinking, a new vision, and so she has a different experience, and if he is clever enough, he will get this exchange as something that will enrich him. And also, so on the board, for example, of a company or of an institution or an association, you always need both visions, both appreciations. And so then they would invite you. So we have to take these opportunities. That's what we all did at some point in our history, and really enjoy it. And thank, the men for being so open today. I think much more than a few years ago.
In Hong Kong and China, in Asia, there is still a very strong traditional role of what mothers are supposed to do, what daughters are supposed to do, and I'm not so sure that we will have evolved as quickly as some of the societies in Europe and the United States. But I'm hopeful because I have 4 daughters. I have a lot at stake. But thank you so much, ladies. I think this is a wonderful lunch and all this great discussion about what's happening now, the world of wine, as well as being a woman, as being a partner, a spouse, or mother in the industry is quite enlightening to a lot of people, because in Asia, more and more women are actually going into the wine industry, and they're looking for role models like you. They're coming to Bordeaux, they're going to Lyon, they're going to different parts of the world to be in your positions for the future. So you provide wonderful role models for all the women around the world, but for this program, especially in Hong Kong and China. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
So welcome to these ladies.
Yes.
Yes, exactly.
To the new lady.
To explore the world of wine, follow us to France, the quintessential wine region of the world. First, Jeannie and I will head to Bordeaux, the oldest and largest wine-growing region. Here, we will visit different chateaux, meet some of the biggest names in the wine world. We will also visit Burgundy, where premium Pinot Noir and Chardonnay are produced. After these trips, you may not be an expert in wine, but at least you'll know how to appreciate your glass of wine better. The Bourgogne wine-growing region is a place of unique heritage, and it's located in the northeast of France, which makes it very accessible from many major European cities, and it's only 2 hours from Paris. Now, probably the most famous area here is known as the Grand Cru Wine Road. Now, I'm here in the vineyards surrounding the outside of Beaune, which is right in the middle of the wine road. There are many, many ways to learn more about wine, so I'm going into the little town of Beaune to find out more. I think the best way to learn about a new town is to do it like the locals and go to their market. So let's go see what life is like in Beaune. Well, it's a cool and crisp morning. The sun is just starting to peek through the skies, and we're here in Beaune, little tiny village, great beautiful backdrop like this gorgeous church behind me. This is a 100% local marketplace. Happens twice a week. This is where the locals come and they bring their arts and crafts and their foods and vegetables. Lots to see here. It's exciting. They got little dogs running around. It's really fun. I see truffles. I love truffles. They have to be cheaper than Hong Kong. I'm gonna go get some. Now, there is nothing better than a truffle hand-prepared by the actual farmer. Oh, beautiful. Wow. It's a gorgeous truffle, nice and flat and thinly sliced. So good when it hits the lips. Très bien, très bien. Okay, I'm a self-professed truffle freak, and you can buy all sorts of other side products like truffle sauce and truffle oil, all sorts of choices. It only costs around €20. I can't believe it. I'm definitely gonna have to get a box. Actually, second thought, maybe a crate. Oh, très bien. Now, Beaune is one of the best regions in France, famous for its cheese, wine, truffles, and mushrooms. It is surrounded by vineyards and small organic farms. And you might not know this, but Burgundy is a leading region for organic food. And it's because France has always supported its small specialist food suppliers, both in the street markets and supermarkets, and many of whom practice organic or bioproduction. Uh-oh. I just found some fresh cheese. Well, these little beauties, they look like pastries of pure goodness, but this is cheese called chèvre, if I say it right. And this is supposed to be cheese that's only from here in this local area. Oh, fromage, très bien. I can imagine the locals here trying this and trying that, just like me, and they get to do it every Saturday. Simple pleasures and enjoyment like this can be found in this little town. I could stay at this stall all day. This fine gentleman has been feeding me cheese, meats, wines. Great hospitality. This is why I love France. The French wine region of Burgundy may be small in size, but its influence is huge in the world of wine. The first domain we will visit in Burgundy is Domaine du Jacques. So, Jeannie, we've discovered chateaux and domains that are up to 100 hectares, and some are down to a dozen hectares. We're at this very, very charming domain here in Burgundy. What's so special about it?
Well, we're in the heart of Moray-Saint-Denis, a village in the Côte d'Or, and specifically Côte de Nuit area of Burgundy. And it's always like this, very small, very quaint, and small sizes. So here at Domaine du Jacques, there's only 15.5 hectares, all organically farmed, second generation. And unlike a lot of domains, which are hundreds of years old, this is actually relatively new, founded by Jacques Cesse, who founded it in 1968.
Okay.
Now the second generation of the family, Alec and Jeremy Cesse, as well as Jeremy's wife, Diana, is involved in the winemaking now.
Family owned, family run and operated.
Purely organic and biodynamic.
Oh, great. A lot of love going into the wine.
Yes.
Well, let's go find out more.
Yes. Right behind me is Grand Cru Vineyard Clos de la Roche. This is a dream come true for most Burgundian wine lovers because Grand Crus represent only 1% of all wines made from Burgundy. There are 33 Grand Cru vineyards, and most producers make only a barrel, maybe a dozen at most. And here, what you see from the slope is that the vineyards are actually right in the center, in the belly of the slope, where you have the perfect exposure to the sun, as well as the right terroir, the right soil, to create that combination of complexity, of depth, the kind of wines that you lay down and forget about for 20 or 30 years.
Today, we will meet with Alec, and he will show us around the vineyard and the estate. Many people like going on working holidays. And if you like wine, I can't think of any better place than working in a vineyard. And today, I got that chance. I was picking berries, pruning, and walking through the vineyards. I only started to work around 5 minutes. It already started a little bit too hard for me. So the workers are out here having fun. You get to see the sunlight, you get to experience the rain, you get to experience everything. It's a lot of fun. It's a great job because some do it as seasonal, some come here for a full-time job, and it's kind of a career. And I can only think there's not a better place to come out and get your hands dirty, feel Mother Earth, have fun. Everyone's enjoying themselves. So if you like grapes and you like getting your hands dirty, I think there's a job for you here. When's lunch break? Now back to the estate, and Alec will share with us some 2013 vintage. And I'm excited because we're going to taste it straight out of the barrel.
2013 was a very difficult year in terms of weather early on. It was a very wet summer and a very cold summer, but the grapes were rather small and they resisted fairly well to the difficult conditions. They have a nice concentration and there's a lot of elegance to 2013.
So what kind of things can you do out in the vineyard to make the best of your wine during that year?
Well, there's no shortcuts. It's all about everyday hard work, and it's working technically well. It's trying to work intelligently, and with lots of love.
Lots of love.
And organic methods. I think the flavors here are really open and vibrant. Was 13 a vintage that you think is more expressive than others?
I think the wines are just coming out of malolactics. They're showing very well. There's a lot of fruit. It's an exciting vintage.
So Alec, now that we're almost finished this, what else do you have for in store?
Well, why don't we go taste the Clos de la Roche, which was the vineyard, which was next to the one we just saw.
Okay, sounds great.
All right, let's go.
Right.
So Alec, are these small little sample sizes that you offer, or?
No, almost. They're half bottles. We use these for tasting, so that when we have a few people coming over, we don't have to open a whole bottle, we open just half a bottle.
So when I drink this, it's clean, fresh, it doesn't have any hard aftertastes, it's very delightful. And when it's in your mouth, I guess the word's expressive, you said. It just seems a lot of sensations.
Yes, there's
what kind
spices
of food
and
would
flowers.
You use?
Well,
what would it pair well with?
Pinot Noir is a fragile grape, and it can be easily overshadowed by powerful food. So the idea is to go with something which complements it without dominating it. Roast chicken is always one of my favorites. Red meat, generally speaking, works well, but you've got to stay away from things like lamb, which can be a little strong.
I see. So lighter types of meats. Okay, so this one here is what year?
Clos La Roche, 1995.
1995.
Oh, the nose is magical, isn't it? This is like inhaling into a whole basket full of dried flowers.
This is what makes Burgundy
What
special.
kind of flowers?
Roses, violets, jasmine. I mean, any sort of purple, red flowers that have been dried and left in a basket to basically lighten up the room.
There's still plenty of time to go. There's no rush to drink this, but this is now starting to show well. And it's a wine which age, it's gained in complexity with time.
Yes.
And it's more delicate than the younger wine, but on the other hand, it gives you a lot more.
Well, if that's your first year, 1995, you've done very well.
No, I was just picking. My father and my brother did all the hard work in making the wine.
Congratulations. Thank you.